Alright guys, so this is definitely a different kind of video, but I felt it was not necessary, but like, I don't know, I just kind of wanted to get more people's eyes on this. So I just made a SRC zombie survey and I announced it in the Discord just a few minutes ago. But I figured I'll get more eyes on it than just the zombies Discord because a lot of times people might see it and then forget to come back to it, or sometimes people don't see it at all. Not a big deal, but I just figured it'd be better to get more eyes on this. So with BO7 coming up, I felt it was a good time to get these questions that people have asked and categories that people have recommended and stuff like that into a voting poll so that it can be so we can go ahead and get it voted on so that when BO7 comes out, that's all we have to worry about for, however long. There are also some BO7 questions in here. Now, these I will go ahead and say they're subject to change drastically depending on how the game plays when it comes out. But I want to go ahead and have the boards as finished as possible so that day one people can start submitting runs. Um, a couple of people have also already submitted runs for the beta, which is cool. And just letting you know, the beta boards are out, but whenever the beta ends, the boards will be archived. I had a couple people request to have the boards open for the beta, but I'm not going to leave it up after the beta. So those will be archived. But if you want to get some runs in, go ahead and submit them. But yeah, so I just figured I'd go ahead and go through these questions real quick just so y'all can read it, and then I'll leave a link in the description. Obviously, this does require an email and signing in. I know it's kind of a hassle, but it keeps people from botting votes or voting for the same thing they want like 100 times or something like that. Um, so we have the BO7, no major skips and unrestricted subcat. That was a thing me and Meta introduced in BO6, and people seem to love it. I'm cool with it still. I just want to make sure that people still want it, so that's what this is here for. So you either say yes, no, or if you have an opinion on it, would like if you're like in the middle or another suggestion, you would put that there. Um, this one I've been struggling with for a long time, and I've been asking a couple people what to do, and a lot of people are 50-50. So I don't know. Oh, hold on, my cat. Come here. My cat jumped in my lap as soon as I started talking. Come here. Okay, there we go. So Treyarch has already said that there will be more relics added post launch, but I also know that people are going to want to do all relic runs if it's possible. Like I don't know, extinction all relic runs. There's like one I think that's ever been done. I think, yeah, I think it's something like that. So this could change, of course. But I also can't have a separate subcat for each individual relic. So I'm trying to figure out what to do with it. So this is what this question is. How would you like to see the relics handled? Um, People are definitely going to want relic categories. So just be as like descriptive and like explain yourself as much as possible with it so that I don't have any questions about it. Also, all of the long answers and short answers or like write-ins will be voted on in the next poll coming out. I also need to change this date. This was just a placeholder date I put. It's not only going to be a week. I think I'm going to do 3 weeks or so. So I need to change that date, so don't worry about the date. But all of these will be anything that isn't like a yes or no will be voted on in the next poll. So this one's the biggest one though, is what y'all want me to do with the relics. So this I've been thinking about this for a while. A lot of people ask for us to do high round boards, which we cannot do. Nope, wrong one. SRC is not capable of having high round boards. The only way that we could do it is if we made a board, put it to where longer times are on top, and then have you submit the round as the hour. And that's just not like that would be way too confusing for people. So we can't do high round boards, but I thought it'd be interesting if there was something like this. Whoops, I didn't mean to click on it like that. But where you could do like a no power round 5 rampage inducer run or something like that. Um, for the moment, this will only be on BO7 because I'm pretty sure that if I added a new subcat on any of the previous games, every single run would be orphaned, which means that it wouldn't show up and it wouldn't show up anywhere, and I would have to go in and retroactively add this subcat to every single run. So as for now, for this moment, if this is voted to be yes, it would only be for BO7. And then cat extension is category extensions, which is a separate board. So if you go on SRC and you look up Call of Duty Zombies, there's Call of Duty Zombies category extensions, which is just like a bunch of miscellaneous categories and stuff like that. So this is just extra categories you'd want to see in BO7. Nothing too much there, but depending, like if this gets like, I don't know, let's just say it gets 100 votes or 100 answers, and every single one is different. I obviously cannot do a 100, like answer thing. But if I see one or two or three categories get mentioned a lot, that's what would be voted on in the next voting poll. Gobblegums, so exit strategy will auto be banned because it immediately makes you exfil, which means that it just kind of like there's no reason for it to even be used, because in exfil runs it would be like 3 seconds or something like that, and then you wouldn't use it in any other runs. So exit strategy is banned unless that is voted differently, because I guess exit strategy being banned in BO7 wasn't voted on. I just figured that, but I guess if enough people want it to be unbanned, that can happen. And I think power vacuum's coming back, but I think it was said that it's not as OP, so I'm not sure about that one yet. But if there's any other gobblegums that we know of at the moment that you would want to be banned, put them here. Of course, when BO7 comes out and we get the full list, I'll probably make another voting poll for other gobblegums to be banned. So I need to actually edit this question. So different difficulty options for BO4. This would orphan all the BO4 runs, so I would need to retroactively add this to each one, but that's okay if it gets voted yes, or if it gets voted to be changed. ZWR, the bigger record site, which, by the way, let me just say there's no beef. I see a lot of people think there's no beef between ZWR and SRC. I don't know where that came from, but people say that a lot. There's no beef. All right. So, anyways, um, ZWR has realistic and hardcore records. They don't have casual records. So I need to change this option from any difficulty to normal difficulty. And then I would need to get rid of no change, because if we put casual, then it would just be I don't know. It would be crazy. I think I'll do regular difficulty, hardcore, and then hardest, being realistic, because those are the three on ZWR. Definitely doesn't need all four, because casual runs would be. I don't think anyone does casual runs. But this is just I'll change this, but I was just open to it because ZWR has different options for BO4. So I didn't know if people wanted it on SRC. BO3 custom maps, I have a lot of people do one-off requests for custom maps to be added, so I want to see if enough people mention a specific one or something like that. The custom maps are added on the levels in BO3, so if you go to BO3 and then you click on levels, that's where the custom maps would show up. Categories to older games, because I figured since ZWR has a lot more broadness as far as categories go, I figured I would ask if there's any specific categories people want added to older games. I do put in here also that we're not able to do high round challenge boards, and I've already accepted the fact that I will never be able to completely get rid of that question. People will still ask, and that's okay. But I will do as much as I can to let people know it's literally not possible. But if there's any categories that y'all want to see, you would put it here, and then that'll be voted on next poll. Depending on if it's too like I don't know what the word is, but if it's like too miscellaneous or too like out there, or if it's something like Peter percent, then that would go in category extension. But regardless, just put any categories that you want here, and then I'll put them on the next voting poll. So the Discord, the biggest thing that people I put it here, the biggest thing that people were saying is that the verification system needed to be changed. So I changed it. We don't have to go through that anymore. Originally, it did work for a while because there was a bot that would automatically verify your account as soon as you linked your SRC account, but it hasn't worked in a while. So that the verification system's changed. We don't need to do that anymore. So if there's anything else that you would want to see changed in the Discord, put it here. This won't be voted on unless it's something, quote, not controversial. That's not the right word. But if it's something that like could be a little divisive, then that's the only reason that I would put that in a voting poll. But like I think one of the three responses right now is an FAQ section, and I think that's a good idea. So I'm going to do that. There's no reason for y'all to vote on that. So if there's anything you want changed in Discord, put it here. And then Anything else that I didn't mention that you think should be voted on or mentioned in the next voting poll, put it here. And then that's all of the questions. None of them are required because I figured if someone, like, let's say someone's really into BO, like they're really excited for BO7, right? But they do not give a fuck about BO4 or BO3. Like, I'm not gonna make them put NA or something like that. Like, so nothing's required. So if you see something, don't feel like you need to answer it. It's all right if you don't. And all of these are limited to one answer per email, just like I said, or one full response per email, just so like I said, people can't like rig the votes or whatever. So I know this is kind of a different video, but I just wanted to make this video to get more eyes on this so that we can have more opinions, so I can cater. I've been trying for a couple years. I mean, a long time at this point, but a couple years specifically to try and get SRC more in the know as far as zombies goes, because ZWR is obviously the biggest one, and then it's SRC. And before I became the head mod, I mean I wasn't really active in like the a lot of stuff besides just verifying runs. So I'm trying my best to get it out of the lull that it's in, where people are like, no one wants to. I don't know. There's like a weird stigma with SRC, and I so serious. I don't know where it came from, but trying to get that stigma away. So go vote on this if you want. If you don't care, then just it's totally fine. Like if you for some reason watch this video, you're like, I do not give a fuck about any of this. That's totally cool. Not a big deal. But if you do care, go to the link in the description, vote on this. Thank y'all for watching, and I will see you on the next video.